How's it going, my wrestling heroes? So here we are. We are going to get into this today. We're going to go over the designs. You guys had voted. You guys chose. You guys hit that marker that we were looking for. So we're going to get into this today. Show you the stuff that we're going to need first before we go anywhere. First things first. You're going to need your phone. Your phone is going to come handy. Why? Because you're going to need actual images. You don't want to see that image. Let me show you some of the images that I'm going to go based off. Right here, I went on YouTube, which, you can find just about any match on there. So if there's any specific attire that you plan on doing, whether it's your Daniel Bryan custom or Balor attires, go on YouTube or you go on Google Images, and you're going to find all that stuff. So as you can see right here, I just did screenshots. I took screenshots. That's the screenshot. It's going to keep on moving. I did a screenshot of the kick pads and also the tights, the back, the front. So I want to make sure that we get it as accurate as possible. That's going to be the best method to take the approach. And, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's got to be somewhat close as to what they're showing on the actual image. Next, you're going to need paint. Now, there's all kinds of paints that you could use. I picked this up from the craft store. I use this and Citadel. This right here I like to use when it comes to this type of work, when I'm doing like a vast majority, like when I'm covering a large area, whether it's like a kick pad or the overall tights, like if I'm doing a whole new repaint on an attire, I usually like to go with Citadel because it is a better quality. This is a lot thinner, so doing designs right here, this stuff is going to work good. So I'm using black Lamp Albany, which is made by Americana, and then for the gray that we're going to use, it's going to be Slate Gray right there. And that's the brand right there, Americana. You're going to need like something to wipe off your utensil with. You can use like all kinds of different stuff. Like right now I'm using a glove, just a regular like glove. I really like the texture and material of this to wipe off the excess paint. You're going to need tape. Tape is going to be the important factor in all this. This is what's going to give you that straight line look. This is what's going to make it look really clean. So if you get a good taping job down, you're going to see the difference between as to not doing it. Some of the stuff that we're going to need right here, these are my top 3 favorite toothpicks. Now you can use brush. Everyone has their own method. The reason why I like toothpicks, well, I'll tell you the story as I start actually doing the painting on it, but I'm a big fan of these. These are the best 3 toothpicks that I've ever found, ever. These are the thinnest, smallest tips toothpicks that I found. So, I mean, you could just reuse a new one every single time, but if you find a good one, man, I'm telling you, hang on to that piece. So I'm going to put these right here. So now that we've gone over the parts, I say we get into it, and we'll just go over the overall painting of it all. Here's a little progress of what's going on so far. Believe it or not, just these 2 lines that you're seeing right here on the kick pad, just those 2 lines right there alone took easily about 8 minutes or so. Now, here's the thing too, that one thing that I want to point out to you. If you accidentally slip or, your hand moves slightly and it goes offline as to what it's actually shown on the image, just turn your toothpick the other way, the side that you're not using, and go ahead and scrape off the excess, because when it's still slightly wet, it comes off really easy. It's almost like an eraser, like having an eraser on the other side. So as long as you do that and you take care of that right away, that's what's going to get rid of that. Now, this kind of what I've been using, as you can see, there's a lot of paint all throughout, and that's just kind of like me second guessing myself at times as to what it actually looks like. So if I have to stop for any reason, if I don't feel comfortable enough to where it's all going, just go ahead and dry it off. Don't let the paint dry on too long, otherwise it's all going to cake up on the toothpick and it's going to make the line work come out really thick. So that's kind of what it looks like so far. So now that I've shown you this part, I want to get into the taping of it so you can see exactly what I'm talking about, of why it's so important to use tape. So let's get that applied on there, and I'll show you as to what it's going to look like once it's all on there. Once you tape it on there, you're going to go based on the images that you find on there. This is obviously the back side. So the back right here, it has to be almost in line. One thing that I went based off, I'll show you. You see how that line right there starts right there up by the torso? That was kind of my foundation to start the taping work. And I just went straight down with it. Try to stay straight with it. You're going to want to align it. And if you're seeing wrinkles right there, that's the reason why, because you're trying to stay with like the straight line from what you started off from top. On this side right here, I kind of did the same thing, and that goes the same for the front. So as you can see right there, where the torso ends right there, where that line of the ab crunch meets, I just went straight down with it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the 4 lines on that, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's all on there. Now that we've gotten the taping work out of the way, this is what it's going to look like. Now, the thing that I forgot to mention was that the black and the gray, you're going to want to mix it all up, stir it up for a good 2-3 minutes or so. Once you get the right shade that you want. Because the way that he had it, it was almost really hard to see and pick up as to what the actual gray was coming out on the tights. So I went ahead and did that, and then once you've done the line work, here, let me zoom it up. There you go. Once you've done the line work, that's kind of what it's going to look like. So I did the 4 lines on the back, 4 lines on the front, and I just continued with the overall flame work on the kick pad. So yeah, you just take your time, and keep in mind that if it doesn't come out flawless or clean, just go ahead, scrape off the excess, because I can't tell you how many times I mess up on making these as much as I mess up on all my videos. So once it's all done, that's what the overall Danny O'Brien. You are going to want to do a sealer after this. You can do Mod Podge. You can do whatever sealer you prefer. There is some stuff that you can just spray on, and once you spray it on, it'll just let it dry for about, I don't know, give it about a couple hours or so. I still wouldn't play with it. I would still give it a solid 24 hours before you can start posing it around. I mean, you don't have to wait that long, but if you want longevity of it all, that's going to be the best route to take. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and we'll see you on the next one.